Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 11th episode of Triggby. Now, it's been a long time since we've been here. There has been Sinterklaas, there's been Christmas, there's been New Year's, there's been my birthday, there's been a couple of exams, everything has happened, but let's dive into it. Today, I'm building the castle. Finally, the 11th episode, we're getting to the castle of Triggby. Now, when I first started this castle, we hadn't updated the server yet to 1.17, so here you can see me transforming or trying to figure out a palette for the new castle using the deep slate blocks, because at first we didn't have those, of course. And I had already made an outline. Sadly, I don't have footage of making that anymore, and that's kind of a theme in this castle build. That's also the reason why it took so long. I had many short replay files that were hidden throughout a mess in a jungle of replay files. So that's why this castle build is not precisely the easiest one to follow, but I hope you like to see the progress either way. Now you can see here me painting in the castle colours and figuring out what to use. I ended up using deep slate bricks for the main structure, and for the foundations I used the cobbled deep slate and deep slate mix, just a 50-50 mix. Then you can see the final height of the keep. It's one rectangular keep with circular towers on the corners with a couple of side buildings leading all the way back over the rock, looking over the beach of Triggby. Now, what I wanted to achieve with this castle is a really sturdy and dominant look, and I think I succeeded. You should check it out later. Well, right now I'm kind of struggling, figuring out a way to make it look a tiny bit more interesting, adding support structures. I kind of forgot what these are called in English, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. These are made of deep slate tiles, and I think that they look quite fine in the way they eventually look. Because like right now, not the best, but you'll see it works out in the end. Now again, we skipped through time a little bit, and this is me adding the interiors to the place, so there's going to be quite a few rooms in here, enough to get lost in for sure, and a couple windows you can sit at as well, which are the things you can see at the top of the screen right now. It's gonna have 4 floors, I think, right? Yeah, 4 floors and a couple basements. And with a great hall, a couple rooms for the lords and knights maybe staying here. It's gonna have a solar for the lord that lives here, a couple guard rooms, and of course a guest room. The square towers at the corners will be primarily used for defense, so they contain arrow slits, or staircases, of course, and they won't really be used for anything else, except for a library at the top floor. Now coming back to add in some more rooms, so I hope you can see a bit of the layout. I'll be touring this place, probably with Dacker, or maybe on my own, I don't know yet. But I do think I did pretty well on the interiors, since I actually did do them this time. Now the thing on the left that you can see is a chimney. I connected up multiple fireplaces to this one chimney, which is something that would have happened in real life as well. Connecting up chimneys to one chimney to multiple fireplaces. Now you can see me here adding in kind of realistic roof. Flat roofs, kind of annoying to do with rain and snow. So I stuck an actual peaked roof on top. And some walkways around so we can defend the castle from the top as well, and adding the black and red Triggby colours to the flag. Now it took some time to find the right scale and design for the flag, but I think that I eventually found the right design. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a strong looking castle, don't you think? As you can see, I also added some hoardings to the side there to keep in the warmth, but still keep the castle defensible from the beach, or give it the possibility to lay covering fire on the beach. Now onto some terraforming, which is something I usually don't really do, but I learned about a new world edit selection type, which is the polyhedron. Some people might already know about this, but I actually just figured out how this worked when I made this castle. You basically are able to select multiple points in space. Instead of just the 2 to make the cube, you select multiple, and you can make like a polyhedral shape in between by filling it. And that's how I made the spikes that are gonna appear on the top here in a bit. My main goal with this cliff was to make the castle look a bit more in the right place. To make the cliff look like it was really supporting the castle and just be part of the same artwork, basically. So here you can see me putting in the peaks. And it's gonna look kind of like a crown or something that the castle is standing on. And I think I really nailed this terrain here. That's also, of course, a bit annoying, because now I'm setting the skill level for the rest of Triggby really high. I know that, but I think I'm prepared for the challenge. You can see a lot of bats flying around. That's because this thing is basically hollow on the inside. And at this moment, animal spawns were enabled on the server. That's why there's so many squids and so many bats. And because of my work on this cliff, we have decided to disable animal spawns again on the server. Now, finally being done with the terrain, I'm moving over to the side entrance. This is going to be the little gate to the castle, which is going to have some staircases with battlements along them. And, of course, you can see the buildings in the back there on top of the walls. Now, these are not in their final form, that's why I'm not showing you how I made them. We're going to be editing them later to look a lot better, because I really wasn't too happy with them. Now this walkway will connect up to many of the tunnels and kind of archways and doors and gateways we have in that particular street of Triggby. So from there guards will be able to get up or get down into the city an easy way without having to climb the long stairs at the front of the castle. Now on to the round tower, adding a peaked roof. I thought I had to have at least one circular peaked roof. So that's going to be this tower, and I think I really nailed the style in the end. You can see I'm really struggling with it, but I think it's quite nice. Now I want to have in this tower live kind of like the maester, like a prime advisor on many topics. Living here, taking care of the birds, the pigeons or the ravens, I don't know. But I don't want it to be too much like Game of Thrones, if you know what I mean. So if anyone has any cool idea of what to call the person living in here, let me know. Maybe he's gonna be a mage. Magic is a thing. I don't know. Come up with a cool idea. Now, down onto the other defense mechanisms, defensive parts of the castle. We're making these bastions down here and kind of preparing the gatehouse to be properly filled up, I suppose. Constructing the road and making it go down into the courtyard. Deciding to go with a basalt and deep slate coal ore mix, if I'm correct. And I'm keeping this basalt look, because the basalt blocks, if you put them down vertically, they really look like very nice dark cobblestones. And like you would see in the streets of Paris or other European old towns. Now this dirt as well is going to get removed later as I'm redoing the buildings in the courtyard. Speaking of the buildings in the courtyard, these are going to be the buildings that the important people, like important craftsmen, are going to live. In there is going to be, I think I put there, the smith and his apprentices, and the carpenter and his family and apprentices. These are two of the most important people in a castle, except for, of course, the nobility living in there. Because the smith is going to keep the weapons nice and sharp and the tools nice and primed, and the carpenter is there to make repairs to the castle. Because wood always rots, stone sticks to its place quite well, but wood needs to be maintained and repaired. Now you can see this castle is already taking shape quite nicely. That's because we're already kind of nearing the end of this video. From now on it's just tiny details and fixing the buildings in the courtyard. Adding some roofs here so you don't have to, stand guard in the rain, I suppose, and protect you from the sun in the summer. And also adding some variety in colour to this entire dark grey bit. Also adding a roof to the walls, and I think that this roof really ties together the shape of the castle. With the redone roofs of the buildings in the courtyard, you can really see the shape of the castle from above, and I like it. It really makes the castle be one whole thing, kind of outlined in spruce wood with dark stone in the middle if you look from the top. And also I think this is a really nice detail and contrasting colour from the side as well. Now here you can see the new buildings, and as I was saying, some footage was lost. You can see that I removed the 3 buildings and completely redid the layout. And we're now stuck with 2 buildings, one diagonal one and one straight one. Now the diagonal one here is going to be the smithy, the straight one is going to be the carpenters. I also lowered the level of the courtyard all the way down until the staircase. Before it was kind of a slope, but now it's just one jump up of 3 blocks. And I think that calms down the courtyard, gives us a bit more space to put down workbenches and anvils and stuff. Now, primarily I wanted to add this tower, but later on I decided to get rid of it because it kind of blocked the view from down below in the courtyard, which is important, and also it didn't really fit with the type of building I wanted in here. But on to the end. This is already the castle at Triggby. Now it's going to be one of many, I'm sure. I plan on building a bigger castle on the other side of the beach. But for now, this is Castle Sørborg, ready to defend the beaches and protect Tryggby's wealth. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Thank you ever so much for helping me reach 200 subscribers. I know it's not too much, but it does warm my heart. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!